This is, I'll trip and fall on camera. This is graphing piecewise graphs. So this is this is on assignment 1.2 in your textbook. Basically we have a function that has 3 different pieces to it. So we're going to graph f of x equals negative x squared first. Or you could rewrite that as y equals negative x squared, like that. Okay? So what you're going to do to graph that is make a table, plug in some values, but the values have to be less than 0. So I'm going to pick numbers less than 0, like, well, hold it, let's go ahead and put 0 in now. The negative of 0 squared would be 0. Because that says less than 0, not less than or equal to 0, we'll graph it, but we'll make it an open circle. So at 0, 0, we're going to make an open circle right here. Then we're going to plug in a negative number, like negative 1. Again, we have to plug in numbers less than 0. If you square negative 1, you get 1, then you hook the negative 1. So when you see this, you're really thinking of it like this. I square the number, then I hook the negative 1. If I put negative 2, I square it, which is 4, then I hit the negative 1. So my graph so far is it starts at 0, 0, then negative 1, negative 1, then negative 2, negative 4. And hopefully you know that negative x squared is a parabola that opens down. So you're going to have something like this. I'm not going to draw the right half of the parabola because my domain says x has to be less than 0. So that's the first piece of the graph. The second piece you're going to graph is the f of x equals 1/2 x. Or you can think of it as y equals 1/2 x. Again, I'm going to make a table. I'm going to plug in some numbers. I'm going to start with 0. That's my lowest number in my domain. So I plug in 0. 1/2 times 0 would be 0. This time there's a little equal bar saying x can equal 0 on this piece. So this time I'll fill in the circle. 0, 0, I fill it in. So now that open circle is going to get filled in because of what just happened here. Maybe I'll plug in 2, for example. Y equals 1/2 times 2, which would be 1. Graph the point 2, 1. And maybe I'll plug in 4. 1/2 times 4 would be 2. But be careful, see there's no equal bar here? X can't equal 4, it can equal anything up to 4. Like it could equal 3.99999, but it can't be 4. So what I do is make this an open circle because of that lack of a bar right there. So 4, 2 would be right here. 1/2 equals 2x, that's like y equal mx plus b form. That's a linear equation, so straight line. Oops, missed. What's that? Oh, you're right, that's supposed to be open. Thank you. Point 4, 2 has got to be open circle. Okay, then I go to the last equation, f of x equals the square root of x minus 4. And I plug in numbers like from 4 to 8. Okay? So I'm going to make a table again. If I plug in 4. Now this time there's an equal bar, so this time I'll make it a closed circle. I'll fill the circle in. So if I plug a 4 in here, 4 minus 4 is 0. The square root of 0 is 0. Closed circle because of that bar. And maybe I plug in, let's say I plug in 5. 5 minus 4 is 1. The square root of 1 is 5, 1 would be 5 to the right up, 1 would be right there. Then I plug in, I'm going to go right to 8. If I plug in 6, I think I'll get square root of 2, which without a calculator I don't know that decimal. I could estimate, but I'm going to go all the way to 8. 8 minus 4 is 4. The square root of 4 is 2. 2 is out here. And this graph's going to stop right there. Except, oh, no equal bar. That should be open circle. Square root of x kind of goes like that. That minus 4 is shifting it 4 to the right. The graph's going to be a curved graph, something like that. Now you might also be asked to give the domain a range. The domain I'm using all the numbers less than 0. I'm using 0 right there, up to 4. Oh, there I'm using 4. I'm using everything up to 8. So I'm using everything below 8.